Firaxis Games, and we're here to share a little information about the latest expansion pack for Civilization V, entitled Brave New World. Brave New World is a follow-on to last year's expansion pack, Gods and Kings. With Gods and Kings, we were able to really look deeply at the first half of a Civilization V game, at a religion system and an espionage system that greatly improved the gameplay and added a lot of depth in that early first half of the game. But what we wanted to do is also delve deeper into the game and look at the second half of a game of Civilization V and figure out what enhancements we could make to push the game in new directions and give the players new challenges as they got closer and closer to one of the victories that are possible within Civilization V. So that's the goal of our Brave New World expansion pack. With this expansion, we're also introducing 9 new civilizations, 2 new scenarios, and a whole host of other new content, such as a new ideology system, a new trade system that has trade routes going back and forth between cities, and a world congress. But what we want to do today is just show you a few of those systems, and we're going to focus on both the new culture system and the trade route system, and also showing you one of our 9 civilizations that we've added with Brave New World. And this time we'll be focusing on Casimir, King of Poland, and his Polish Empire. Poland is a very flexible civilization. They have the unique ability of solidarity, which allows them to gain a free social policy whenever they advance to the next era. Those of you familiar with Civilization V will know that social policies allow you to configure your empire with a specific set of bonuses that could be from a wide variety of areas of the game, or you could specialize in one area or the other. So you could become a civilization that's very good in religion, very good at your alliances with city-states, or maybe very good commercially. So however you like to play, Poland will work for you. You can set them up to have just the type of bonuses that you like to have. Poland's military unit is the Winged Hussar. The Winged Hussar replaces the Lancer and allows you to do dramatic attacks with them that will disrupt the enemy lines and push them back from their positions. So we'll take a quick look at what the Winged Hussar looks like. He's got a knight unit with long lances, and they actually have on their backs wings that were used to frighten enemies when thousands of them were all charging into combat at the same time. So you can see this is a very fun looking unit. It's going to be one that's going to be very interesting to bring into combat and punch a hole in the enemy formation so that the rest of your troops can rush through. Poland also has a unique building called the Ducal Stable, which complements the Hussar by giving you additional experience as you create mounted units in that city, and it also enhances the amount of golden production you receive from pasture tiles near that city. So that's what we have for Poland, and let's go ahead and now start looking at the user interface, how that might have changed for Brave New World, and see how some of the new features are added on in and integrated in with the rest of the Civilization V system. So we're looking at our top menu bar. We can see that there's a new item, the third one over, which tells us about trade routes that we have available in our empire. The interface is saying that we have one trade route for land units and 1 sea in place, and that 4 is our total capacity of trade units that we can have in play right now given our technology level. So what is a trade unit and how does it work? We've selected our Caravan land trade unit over at the city of Lodz, and we can establish a trade route with that city. And immediately we're going to have a wide range of options as to where that trade unit goes and what function it's performing. At the top of our list we have both production and food that can be sent internal to our empire to another city. You may want to send production to another city in your empire if you have a large public project going on. You might be creating a great work or a great wonder, excuse me, in one of your cities, and you want that wonder to finish production ahead of your enemies, so you'll want to rush production to that city. You may also want to send food to another one of your cities. That's especially useful if you created a brand new city. It might be another continent, it may not be growing very fast, but you need to get it up and going soon. So you can boost its population in short manner if you send it food through a trade route. We also have the ability to send trade routes to foreign cities, and that's when you reap gold out of the trade system. So here we have a list of city-states, each one of which has a different amount of gold that we'll get out of the trade route. And that gold is computed by looking at the resources available in the two cities. We have some resources here. It looks like the list says iron, pearl, and gold are the three resources that are found in one of those two cities but not in the other one. The greater the disparity in the resources between the two cities, the higher the income that we're going to have, because those cities are finding it very, very lucrative to get those commodities from the other. So our Caravan, it's an automated unit. It'll follow that path from turn to turn until it reaches its destination. And we also have the ability to not only send land trade units, but also sea trade units. So we have our Polish cargo ship in Warsaw. The established trade route looks very similar in terms of the user interface for that. But we might notice that the gold that we're receiving from these trade routes has increased greatly, because sea trade is definitely more lucrative. We basically get to double the gold output compared to a land trade route. The sea routes also have much, much greater range. Here we have the choice of going up to 45 plots as we pick a destination for this trade route. So what we're going to be able to do is have a wider variety of options on where it can go, and that's going to allow us to pull in more money from the trade route. We've sent the trade route on its way. It's going again to the city-state of Ur, but this time by sea. And we notice that the trade route is going very, very close to the fog off to the east, where there could be enemy raiders, there could be barbarian ships, there could be ships from a civilization we might be going to war with. So we're going to want to investigate whether or not there are dangers lurking for our cargo ship.
Eu sou Pedro, imperador do Brasil. Tenho pouco tempo para agradecer. O que o traz aqui?
All right, our cargo ship sailed east, and lo and behold, we stumbled into a brand new civilization, the civilization of Brazil, which is led up by Pedro II. He's busy in his study, obviously, and we've disturbed him, so we weren't going to take too much of his time, but we'll talk briefly about Brazil. It is one of the new civilizations, and its specialty is having a unique golden age, which allows them to create what's called the Carnival. And the Carnival is going to greatly enhance Brazil's tourism output during that golden age. So let's leave Pedro and talk about that new item, tourism, which is the next thing that we'll come to on our menu. Further down, we see that we're getting 12 tourism per turn because we have 5 great work slots. So what is tourism, and why is that an important thing here in Brave New World? Well, tourism is the way that you get other civilizations interested in your culture, and you start spreading that culture around the world. So we will look at our capital city of Warsaw and see that there's a new yield added, and out of the 12 culture per turn, right now 4 of it is coming from Warsaw, and that's because Warsaw has 2 great works in it right now. The great works are housed in the buildings of Warsaw, which we can see by scrolling up and down on list on the right hand side. We see that some of those buildings now have new slots for great works, some of which are filled and some of which are not. It looks like in this particular instance we have the water lilies from Claude Monet in our museum, and The Great Gatsby written by Scott Fitzgerald in our amphitheater. So those are 2 of the great works that are attracting people to our civilization. But let's see if we can go out and find some great people ready to create more for Poland. And here we have James Whistler. He is going to create a great work of art. And I think that portrait of his mother will make a fine addition to our museum in Warsaw. Maybe we can find a different type of great person, perhaps a great musician, and see what they can create. And the game has gone ahead and selected an open great work slot for a musical item right there in our Opera House of Warsaw. And we can see that now the Warsaw tourism has grown from 4 up to 10 because of those new great works. Part of the reason for it jumping so high is that we have gone and added 2 great works of the same type to the Warsaw Museum. We also have the same +2 bonus in our Krakow Museum because both of them have similar artists, both from Poland and both from the Renaissance era. So we're going to get what we call theming bonuses for creating a collection of work that is all the same type and all of the same era and civilization. Now let's look at Warsaw. We have one of the wonders of the world, the Louvre, which actually can hold 4 great works all at the same time. And if you can set it up so that your theming bonuses are properly configured for the Louvre, that will actually give you the largest theming bonus possible in the game. So we just went and we took all 4 of our great works of art and put them in the Louvre, but sadly we're receiving no theming bonus at all. That's because if you know anything about the Louvre, it's a huge museum in Paris that has a wide-ranging collection of artwork and artifacts from across the world. And that's the way we've set up the theming bonus in Civilization 5, is you need to collect items from a wide variety of civilizations and put them in there to get the theming bonus. Now, since all we're doing is putting Renaissance Polish art in there, we're sort of doing the exact opposite of that, and we're not going to get a theming bonus. So let's go ahead and move that artwork back into our own Polish museums where people will appreciate it and we'll get the right theming bonus for it. So we've been talking about this tourism, we've been showing how great works create it, but what does tourism do for you in the game? Well, tourism is your path towards the culture victory, and we can see from this influence by player screen exactly how tourism has been developing and going up against the cultures of the rest of the world's civilizations. So let's start with Brazil in the middle of the screen. We just met Pedro from Brazil. We had had no contact with them previous to this turn. So right now our tourism is non-existent against them, and our cultural influence level is that we're unknown. But that's not going to change over time. We're going to continue to build our tourism with them now that we've met them. If we do things like open up our borders with them and establish a trade route with them, that's going to give us the ability to boost our tourism output to that civilization. So I think we'll have plenty of time to get caught up. We can see that there are 2 other civilizations we've met in the game, Assyria and France. And with Assyria, we only have the exotic culture level. We have got quite a ways to go. Our white tourism bar measured against their pink culture bar has only maybe about a quarter of the way across. So basically what that means is they've been building up their culture, that Assyrian culture, all game long, and that's going to be used as their defense against us winning a culture victory. And we have quite a ways to go with our tourism, which is our offense against that, until our culture can stack up well with them. We're doing much better against France. In France, our culture is already very popular. You can see that we're well on our way towards reaching the final 100% goal of becoming influential with them. And that's what our goal is with a new culture victory. What we're trying to do is reach that influential level with every other major civilization in the game. If we can achieve that, then we'll have a culture victory. Okay, well, we've shown you the culture system and the trade route system within Brave New World. There's several other systems that we've been introduced for this expansion: the archaeology system, the World Congress, and the ideologies. But we don't have time to show those with you today. So what we're going to do is wrap up our demo by showing you one of the enhancements to the combat in Brave New World. We've taken a look at where all the units were in terms of their combat chains after we had released Gods and Kings, whether or not there were some holes in there that we might want to fill in. And one thing that we did notice was that we only had one type of unit within the game that had any ability to do a paradrop. That was our World War II era paratrooper, and it would be very nice to be able to update him and provide a more modern equivalent that allows you to get troops wherever you needed them on the globe very quickly, but to have them hold up in the late game combat. So what we've done is introduced a brand new unit. It is the upgrade to the paratrooper, and it's called the XCOM Squad. We will go ahead. Oh, that was a Sky Ranger that flew by. And here we have our XCOM troopers who've just arrived on the scene. What are they facing? Well, it appears that that Assyrian civilization, we were just looking at their high culture output, has managed to also create a technological marvel because they have a giant death robot. And I think that's going to be a grave threat to our world, so we're going to want to deal with that immediately. So let's go ahead and declare war. And you can see that their leader is Ashurbanipal in his ancient library. But somehow from those stone tablets in that library, he's created the giant death robot. So here he goes face to face with the XCOM squad. And with that last blast from our plasma rifles, the giant death robot falls, and our demo is concluded. We thank you for joining us. We're going to be releasing more information on Brave New World in the weeks and months to come, but look for it to come out in North America on July 9th and worldwide on July 12th.